Alright, so we're about to do a review on what you will be expecting tomorrow. So tomorrow there will be 10 to 20 questions in the exam, okay? Remember, 10 to 20, okay? Could be 15 to 20 questions in the exam. Yeah. So it will be over the topics that we have learned so far. Okay, but the one that I think there will be issue is what remember we started with definitions, right? We also look at the problem solving skill. You have to understand the problem. All of those things, those are things you can do on your own. Read those aspects. Okay, now, the one that I think there will be an issue is questions like this. Okay, maybe I said, find the mean, median, and mode of the following observation. Okay, observations. So find the mean, median, and mode of the following observations. So we had 40, 30, 70, 80. Okay? Alright. So remember the first thing they ask us to find is the mean. Okay? The mean is just you adding all the numbers. Right? So it will be 40 plus 30. I know by now you guys will like, oh, this is easy, right? There's a 90 here. 80, so 90, all divided by the number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5. Okay, so use your calculator to find that from you. 40 plus 30 is 70, so 140 plus 2, that's 310 divided by 5. That's 62. Alright, so this is 310 divided by 5, which is 62. That's the mean. Okay. The next thing is they ask us to find the median. Remember, so one of the things I notice people doing is that when they ask you to find the median, you have to rearrange the data. Okay. So how do we arrange that data? From the least to, so from the least to the biggest. Okay, that's how we arrange the data. Least to the biggest. So we have 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Okay, so there are about 5. How many numbers there? 30, 40, 60, 70. Wait a minute. Our first thing we did right now.
There is no 60.
Oh, okay. It's not 60. Yeah, so there was no 60 in our first data. Okay, so remember, so we have, and this number doesn't exist, so we have 30, 40, 70, 80, and 90, right? So basically what we do is that we find the one in the middle, so 2 to this side, 2 to this side, so the median is the one in the middle. So the only difference is for you to arrange the data accordingly, right? So this will be a 70. Okay, so the median is equal to 70. That's the number in the middle. Alright. Well, those are the two things that we'll be looking at over there. Now, we also talk about standard deviations, right? And lower quarter and upper quarter, but the issue is online people. Okay, so now let's talk about combination, a little bit of permutations. Okay. Combinations and permutations. Right. So combination and permutations, right? So basically what we mean by combination and permutations. So the first thing you have to know is that anytime they ask you to arrange the data, so let's say that we are supposed to arrange A, B, C, D, okay? Taking all at a time, right? We are about to take all of them at a time. Remember I said all, not two or one. All at a time. We do that by saying that it's 4 factorial, right? Can arrange that 4 factorial ways. When we said 4 factorial means 4, this is the same as 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, okay? And that will give us 24, alright? Okay, so this is called the factorial method. Okay, now, what did we say about combination and permutation? Which one is order matters and which one order does not matter?
Order matters in permutation.
Order matters in permutation, but order does not matter in combinations. Okay, all right. So in the so we arrange A, B, C, D, taking all at a time. Okay, arrange A, B, C, D, taking all at a time. If you know this basic stuff, tomorrow's question you just be pressing stuff. Okay, you get it easy. Taking all at a time. All right.
Okay, you can.
Okay. So now remember, you guys say that order does not matter in permutation. So the question I have here is that how many ways? Okay, how many ways can we choose a committee of 4 out of 10? Okay. So we have 10 people and we are just supposed to choose a committee of 4. Which of this thing do we use? Is it permutation or combination?
Combination.
Why is it combination though?
Because you're just taking 4 out of the 10 people you have.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Or the order in which we take them. So this is a combination question. Remember, this question is a combination question because that's what Tyler said. Tyler said that it's a combination question because we are just choosing 4 people. We don't really mind the order at which we choose them. You understand? We are just choosing them. So immediately you see that, remember the n combination R is n factorial, okay? N minus R factorial, okay? So the number of people is 10, right? And we are choosing 4 of them. So 10 choose 4. That makes sense, right? Which is equal to 10 factorial, which is the n. 10 minus 4 factorial, 4 factorial, okay? And that will be equal to, you can use your calculator. Remember there was so if you have a calculator, you can use it to solve for this. Okay, there is a symbol on each calculator that you can use. So what's 10 combination for?
Same combination. It's 210.
Okay, so 10 combination 4 is 210, okay? Perfect. Now, another problem we have to look at, another problem types we have to look at, okay, it's called the Mississippi problems, okay? What we mean by Mississippi problem is that when we are arranging numbers and then or alphabet and they are not distinguished, right? Distinguished means that you see the first one we said 4 factorial because we have A, B, C, D. But what if we have A, B, B, C, C? Those type of questions are called Mississippi problems, okay? So that's the next one we'll be looking at. Alright, so Mississippi problems. Okay, how many ways can we arrange the word Mississippi? Okay, how many ways? How many? How many ways? Okay, how many? Where's my end? Ways can we arrange the word Mississippi? Mississippi. This is I. Mississippi. Okay. Now, remember, you have to count the number of times each of the letters appear, right? So you can notice that X, there are about 4 X, okay? So the X are 4, right? What about I? The I's are also 4, right? 4 I's, okay? What again? There are 2 P's, okay? 2 P. So remember, we have X, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 X in Mississippi, okay? And there are 4 I's in Mississippi, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and then there are 2 P's. So, normally, if these words were distinguished, we would have 11 factorial, because there are 11 numbers that we are arranging 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Since there are 11 factorial, but the issue is that we have these ones here. Okay, so we divide by 4 factorial, 4 factorial again, and then 2 factorial. Okay, now this is my issue. This one, if you break it down, right, and you use your calculator, by now you know where the factorial is on the calculator. Okay, look for this symbol and punch it into it. But if I give you a question, most of the time I'll give you a question like A, B, C, D. That would be 5 factorial. Okay. Now there are 2 A's, so 2 factorial. That's all you have to calculate. I won't give you a number like this to calculate. Okay. So 5 factorial over 2 factorial, I can even calculate it myself. Right? Which is 5 times 4 is 20. That's 60. Okay. When you do 5 factorial over 2 factorial, this is 60. Okay, so sometimes it's not about you doing this, but about the idea that when you have AA and you are asked to arrange, you have to divide by 2 factorial.
That's 51 or 5 high?
5 factorial. Okay. All right. Now, we talk about probabilities, right? Talk about probabilities after, we talk about probabilities, okay? We said that the probability of an event, so let's say this is an event E, so probability of E is equal to the number of event divided by what? Divided by the number of sample space, okay? Now, we said that what is the probability? What is the probability of tossing a coin 2 times? Okay, when you see only head. Okay, so what's the probability of tossing a coin? This question will actually be in your exam. What is the probability? Okay, what's the probability of tossing a coin. Tossing a coin 2 times. Okay? 2 times. Where we get 2 heads. 2 heads. So we want to find the probability when you toss a coin 2 times. When does it happen that you get 2 heads? Okay? Well, you have to first start by finding, if I toss a coin 2 times, what are the possibilities? So this is head, this is tail, okay? The possibilities is that the first one could be head. We could have a head and a tail. We could have tail and a head. We have tail, okay? So if I toss, I may have head. Now the probability, the sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So there are 4 possibilities, sample space, right? But the probability of the event is we want head. Okay, so the probability of getting 2 heads, okay? Probability of getting 2 heads, okay? How many times does that occur? Only once, out of what? The 4, okay? Yeah. Like there are 4 possibilities. You can get head, can get head, tail, head, and then tail, right? So that is the only time the probability occurs. Okay, so remember those simple stuff. Well, again, I think basically those are the main things we are looking at generally, okay?